Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a while since I went live or made any social media content, so I want to thank everyone that's reached out to me asking me if where am I at, what's going on, Mr. Content. So thank you. I've been doing a really deep dive into myself, a lot of changes in my life, and in addition to that, I've got some exciting news to share. And I'm also live here on Instagram as well as Facebook, so you'll kind of see me looking back and forth at each one, and also YouTube. So just welcome everyone. And yeah, so the first thing I want to share is this journey and this process of launching this book that's been a 10-year evolution of the journey that Champ and I have done. So basically, I just kind of want to step back a minute and share how this whole journey with him started in a bigger way that became more of his legacy and his mission. And it really started by my daughter used to tell me I adapted from China because when it came to connecting to him, I never heard of his breed before. I had done some research on his breed and or dogs and ran across his breed. Then I found out they were very rare in the Midwest, and then I found a breeder in Florida, and mainly they're from Europe. So at that time, you couldn't really, you had to either go to the West Coast or to Florida to really even find his breed. So that being said, I found the breeder that I really paid attention to the types of the dogs she bred, like different, like the ways they were bred. And I actually picked out his parents and his very specific breed that like called to me, like as his parents. So I chose his parents before they were even bred. And then basically he came along and I was put on a waiting list. So basically when I even reached out before they were bred, because they're mainly show dogs, um, his the breeder had already had all of her reservations taken. So there was three male, three female first picks, and I came on a waiting list. But when Champ was born, he was born the size of your thumb. And so the breeder didn't even know he was a dog. She thought he was after birth. So she, flew into him, CPR, and for 20 minutes, and finally he took his first breath. So she had made an executive decision because I was on a waiting list and nobody was responding about him and all the people that had signed up for a show dog. Well, she said, I want him to have a good home. I'm going to list him as a pet because I don't think he's going to make breed standard. And she said he's one of the finest crowns I've had ever, but he's probably not going to make the standards it requires to be a champion dog because that's what her dogs were. And let me tell you something, he became a champion in every sense of the word and beyond what you could imagine a champion being. And what he really did along the way is, we had this real soul connection from the beginning. And so I show up and fly to Florida to pick him up and never saw this breed before, see him, he automatically runs to the gate and I heard him in my head say, where have you been? I've been waiting on you. And it was very, like, instantly, this bond that took over between us. And it took me till I went through a lot of darkness in my life. I was in a very deep, dark relationship, a failed business partnership, a business with the new life partner I had, and I needed to end that relationship. And I also then got called for selling a business, moving, selling a house. The list went on and on. So through all that heartbreak, all that, like I really hit this place in my life during that time that was one of the darkest places I had been, and I truly didn't know how I would find the light in myself again because that light in myself was really zapped out of me from all the experiences that I went through. And what I started discovering is when I would take Champ out for a walk and a run, he was so magnetic and his smile would just light up everyone. And he strutted, like strut like your mutt. That's where like an online course I actually just finished creating today that parallels the book. That a percentage of those proceeds are going to support Global Paws for Peace that I'll talk about in a minute. And also other organizations and affiliate organizations to support rescues. And it's been a like long process of his journey of really being his voice and really mirroring to him, I should say, him mirroring to me the virtues of life. You know, we don't really recognize that in our dogs, but they really do practice principles that represent who we should be at our best version. And so, you know, and even dog and God, if you put them, you know, put them up to each other, they're mirror images of each other. And they're a living expression of the closest thing you could probably give is God in form and their unconditional love. And so anyway, kind of going back to, you know, the connection of picking him up from Florida and then moving forward in that journey with him under, you know, my life of being in this dark place, and his magnetic smile became so contagious to people, and he was a magnet. Like, he would literally attract people, and people would be just walking by and they'd stop dead in their tracks and look at him and say, what kind of dog is that? And they'd be like, dude, that's a good looking dog. Or, you know, even just driving down the street, people driving past, even at 14 and a half years old here in Sedona, people driving down the street, they would crane their necks and turn, almost breaking their necks to look at him and be like, what is he? Who is he? Like, you know, what kind of dog is he? So he came into this world with a really big mission. And I know that there was a soul relationship in that for me to become his voice and to, you know, help not only unlock inside of me, like the things that needed to come forth for healing, that he actually helped me do through this, because through his smile, we started what was called the 100-Day Smile Challenge. And I know some of you and some of you following here may have even followed it. I know people on Facebook, on my Facebook page, they followed it. I know, you know, also Champ's Facebook page, which I'm also on here, they followed it. And which is interesting because it looks like I might have lost Facebook on my personal page here, so I'm not sure, but it kind of looks like it. Hey, David, how are you? Thanks for saying hello, David. Nice to see you here. So anyway, back to kind of just the journey of our journey. He taught me some things that helped open me up at a level that I didn't really know existed in me. And that was a piece of finding the light in my darkness, really. Because when I would take him out for his walk and run when I wasn't feeling good, or when things would like be gloomy and dark, then the smiling that we did to help other people smile actually made me smile on the inside. So that's how I got this idea of like, wow, he's really doing something positive here. This is really making something impactful. And I was like, heard, you know, like, make a smiling challenge out of this and do it for 100 days. And so it made me committed to it. And I didn't realize the small seed turned into this big thing, because in that smile challenge, what I did was I showed up every day. We took his picture, we posted on his social media page, which is Champ Short Like Your Met, by the way. So if you've not got plugged into his Facebook page, you know, feel free to do so. And we would share his picture and the story and the events that took place that day. And the criteria to take the picture was, we didn't just go out and say, hey, can we take your picture? It literally was, he made that person smile. And when he made that person smile and they caught his, you know, he caught their attention, then we approached them to educate them on bully breed awareness, because I didn't understand until then the weight that his head carried from judgment, discrimination, and the breed itself, not the deed in itself. So for 100 days we did this, and very early on, it got picked up by 7 leading dog magazines on social media. And when it did, it went around the world. And like overnight, he became this little superstar with all these followers and these friends and these people who were following the journey with us. And it became so magical in that, because it really opened me up. Like, when I was in that dark place, I found light. I found myself. I smiled on the inside when even it didn't look good on the outside. And so that brought me into a place of more connection and awareness to myself and the bond we created. So from that, we launched Global Paws for Peace, which is a nonprofit organization to promote bully breed awareness and to help rescues. And so that's why I can't be more excited to let you know I'm going to be in LA for a book signing coming up and the October 5th. It's on a Saturday. And so if you're in the LA area and you'd love to come to this event and support something that's a really amazing event, they're going to be supporting 13 rescues in the LA area. And I'm so honored to have been invited to this because I wasn't looking for it, it found me. And you know, if you follow me for very long, you know my connection to LA, and you know that that's been a lifelong calling to be there. And so I just sort of like, you know, the other piece in this is, you know, I've been in a new place in my life since his passing, and another layer and shedding of who I am, and you know, all those things. And so what has happened is when he passed and transitioned, me finishing this book, Champ, the Human Whisperer, was part of my healing for his, you know, grieving his loss. And so out of that, I also then kind of really came into this place of knowing that, you know, I'm got this bigger, better, brighter version of me trying to emerge out of this. And so for me to do that is calling for me to make a lot of changes in my life and a lot of shift in my life. So I've been doing that for a few months. And so I'll be actually leaving Sedona when I leave here to go to LA. And then I'm gonna go back to the Midwest and visit family, and I'll say hello, Mama. She's on Instagram. It's like following, watching. So it's an exciting time, but there's a lot of change going on, and change can be uncomfortable. But at the same token, it helps expand us. It helps us, you know, become more of the greater, better version of ourselves. So I really just wanted to hop on here and share a little bit about the journey that I've had with Champ and about the book launch, which will be next Saturday on the 28th. The book itself will be available, and I'll be posting more, sharing more, because launching that is going to be like a huge, huge impactful moment for me, an inspiring moment for me, because that book also, it is teaching the same main 8 tricks he taught me, even though he taught me a lot of lessons and the virtues to live by and the principles. And so that book shares a combination of Champ's journey, his mission, his message, his legacy of love, unity, and resilience, how to also, you know, the transformational lessons of what we can learn from our dog and what he taught me. And then, you know, the tricks that you could take away from the simplicity of how a dog lives and really change your own life. And that's what the book is really all about. And obviously, it would never have been the same book, because I used to want it finished to celebrate it with him before he passed. But then I realized that it would have never been the same book, and it couldn't have been complete until he did pass. So I'm just, again, super excited, super honored, and love sharing content as always. And I'll be sharing more as my journey, because as my journey unfolds, and I actually am leaving Sedona, I'm leaving doors open to see how things move. And, you know, I'm at this place of like a bittersweet freedom, because I had him for 14 and a half years and devoted to him and committed to him, and wasn't always able to travel in some of the ways that I would have had I, you know, not had him, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But there's this new level of freedom that comes with this bittersweet idea. And I also knew that by him transitioning, crossing the Rainbow Bridge, that I needed to also, being it's bittersweet, at first I just felt this really disconnect. And then I realized when I got back into his purpose, his mission, his calling, his message, and how it helped me when I was in a dark place. It's like it repeated the cycle, and it helped me again, only this time from a new way. And so I feel like at the timing of my life and all the changes I have and all the things that are, you know, could be viewed as dark again is really just an opportunity to re-implement, the things that he originally taught me and go forward in a new, brighter, bigger, bolder way. And that's what I'm going to be doing and doing. And I'm just going to let the divine guide me and the wind take me. And as things move and flow and I flow with it, then we'll see how it unfolds. I do know eventually that I will be working my way into LA because I know that's what my soul feels called to do. But in the meantime, I'm just showing up and practicing, and I'll just tell you a little bit about the 8 tricks in the book. And one of them is being able to live in pooch time consciousness, which is, and I call it PTC, but really that means living in the present moment. And dogs are present and they only worry about what's in front of them and they don't even worry about that. They actually enjoy it. The other thing is learning to bark out loud, and that's express yourself, speak your truth, stand up, show up and speak up for the things you need to. And in addition to that is sniff it out, where you trust your instincts, and you learn the difference between even instincts and intuition. Your instincts are really the protection mechanisms, where your intuition is your guidance and your GPS system. So we don't always really kind of differentiate those things, and that's something he really taught me in the difference and viewing his life and how he navigated him. And the other thing is becoming your own best friend, which is about self-love. And love is a 4-legged word, which is unconditional love, and how when we come into this becoming our own best friend, and we then come into the self-love, and then we learn how to, from a healed position, love others, we create more meaningful relationships with other people when we have one with ourselves. And when we have this with our pet, furry friends, dogs, they can really show us what it's like to love ourselves in a way that they love us. And this gets really deep when I say this, so just think about this. And this is going to be a nugget I'm just going to kind of leave you with to think about. You're being guided just in life to become the version of yourself your dog already thinks you are. All right? Your dog sees you as perfect. And you are being treated by your dog or your animals from a place of unconditional love, which is what you're desiring and what they're showing you to do for yourself and becoming your own best friend. So your kind of job in this evolution of just being your best self is really becoming the version of yourself that your dog already knows you are. Okay? So that might be a little mind warping, but and that one other thing I want to say, especially from my twin flame following and followers, that I was asked so many times along the journey with Champ, because they would watch what I was going through with Champ, and when he was taken from me and I went to court to get him back for an 8-month court trial and just all kinds of things. And they were like, oh my gosh, is your dog your twin flame? I said, well, you actually would think so, because he really does mirror everything about our journey, mirrors the twin flame journey. So I just want to say that, like the whole world is our mirror, but when we do have a soul connection, and like, now me being the voice of Champ and continuing his legacy of love and light and laughter and lessons, in that process, that is a mission that we have assigned to jointly. And so just know that, like, when you go through a journey with people, twin flame, people, life, what the world, your pet, everything mirrors who you are and mirrors what it is you're going through and what you need, and you attract what you need, whether it's good or bad. My neighbor said just recently that it takes a thorn to remove a thorn. So, if you're going through things that don't feel good, know that you're going through those things that don't feel good, because those are helping you remove out of yourself what no longer serves you. And on the flip side, they help you become a better version of yourself by going through your experiences. And the sooner you find a gratitude for the lessons in those experiences, the faster you can move beyond where you're at. Okay? I've seen everyone those with love. I'll be back probably another time or two this week, and I'll do another little live next Saturday. because next Saturday the book will be available on Amazon for purchase, and I want to launch it in memory of his legacy and tribute and celebration with everyone. Being that's what I said. I usually want to celebrate with him, and so the life continues, and so I'm still celebrating this journey of all the things he taught me, and then all of this is about paying it forward to the legacy of a creature that meant so much to me. So I send all of you light, loads of love, light, liberation. And if you're just joining, make sure to go back and check out some of the earlier things I talked about, because I see several people popping back in here now. And I'll be back soon, and I'm sending you all loads of love. And thank you for being a part of my journey. I look forward to seeing you in the next live coming up in a few days. All right, loads of love.